Good morning, students. Welcome back to Community Health Nursing. So, in the last class, we have seen from the first 5-year plan to the sixth 5-year plan. So, today let us continue with that. Today, let us start with seventh 5-year plan. Seventh 5-year plan was from 1985 to 1990. So, the seventh 5-year plan was focused on steady growth with significant importance to self-reliance and improved efficiency in productivity. So, they were more focusing during the seventh 5-year plan towards the steady growth with significant importance of self-reliance. Again, they are focusing on self-reliance. A steady growth should be there. It is not should be in one 5-year plan there was so much of planning and the next it will not be there. So we should have a steady growth. It should be the same growth phase should be there in the development. So that self-reliance and efficiency in production also should be improved. Equity and social justice were the elements used for distributing the benefits yielded. So they have given more focus on equality and social justice, and a total outlay for the health sector was 3,392.89 crores. So really you can see here the difference between the amount which is allotted in the first 5-year plan and in the seventh 5-year plan. So see that much of importance government is giving for the health sector while they are planning for the next 5 years. So let us see in the seventh 5-year plan what are their general objectives. So when we look into the general objectives, first one, to support and speed up the production of food grains. Next one, to implement various programs that would facilitate meeting the basic requirements. Next one, to boost self-reliance and increase job opportunities to people. Then to gear up the process of expansion of scientific and technological capacities. So from here it is very clear that they were they were planning in the seventh 5-year plan for a sustainable or for a steady growth. For that they were giving more focus to speed up production of food grains, and they were looking into the basic requirements and self-reliance by increasing various job opportunities for the people, and especially scientific and technological capacities were also focused. So health related objectives were, the first one is coordination and coupling of health and health related services and activities, especially nutrition, safe drinking water. So they were coordinating all the health and health related services and even activities. Special efforts on urban health services, school health services, and mental and dental health services to ensure comprehensive coverage. So you can remember here in the seventh 5-year plan, it is the first time we were hearing the word school health, mental health, dental health. So all these special areas they were focusing, especially even the urban health also. Then community participation and intersectoral coordination were more focused. As we all know, these both are the basic principle of primary health care. Then control and eradication of communicable disease, again they were more giving emphasis. Then training and education of doctors and paramedical personnel, and even various rural health programs. So you can remember by thinking this particular seventh 5-year plan, they were focusing more for a steady growth by integrating all health and health related services, especially nutrition, safe drinking water, and you can focus upon the words like urban health, rural health programs, school health, mental health, and even dental health. Then intersectoral coordination, community participation, and control of communicable diseases. And then afterwards, after the seventh 5-year plan, we had an annual plan. So there was two annual plans like 1990 to 91, then from 91 to 92 there was two annual plans. There was no 5-year plans between this particular 2 years due to the disturbed political situation. And the annual plans for the years, as I have told, 90 to 91 and 91 to 92. These two were not there because of the disturbed political situation of our country. Following to that, the eighth five-year plan was launched in 1992. So Dr. Manmohan Singh gave greater attention on India's free market reforms that brought about the economic stability. During this plan period, privatization and liberalization began in India. So we can hear this particular word nowadays more. So they are privatizing some of the company, or some of the things which government was running, they were trying to privatize, and so that the little liberty has been given, so that all the people, even the public or the other agencies, can also have a tie-up along with the government for a very fast growth and development of our particular country. So let us see Dr. Manmohan Singh, what all things he has incorporated into the eighth five-year plan. So in the eighth five-year plan, that is from 1992 to 1997, so it has the major concern of modernizing the industries. So they were again looking for the modern technologies, all these things in the industries. The major components of eight five-year plan include strengthening the infrastructure, check on population growth, poverty eradication, and people's participation. So only these four words, if you remember, you can able to write much more about the 8 5-year plan. ഏതൊക്കെ നാല് കാര്യങ്ങളാണ് ഓർത്തിരിക്കേണ്ടത്? ഫസ്റ്റ് വൺ, സ്ട്രെങ്തനിങ് ഇൻഫ്രാസ്ട്രക്ചർ. സെക്കൻഡ് വൺ, reducing or checking on population growth. There should be a reduction on population growth. Then poverty റിഡക്ഷൻ, ദെൻ പീപ്പിൾസ് പാർട്ടിസിപ്പേഷൻ. സോ രണ്ട് കാര്യങ്ങൾ റെഡ്യൂസ് ചെയ്യണം. എന്തൊക്കെയായിരുന്നു? പോവർട്ടിയും പോപ്പുലേഷനും. നെക്സ്റ്റ് വൺ ഈസ് സ്ട്രെങ്തനിങ്, രണ്ട് കാര്യങ്ങൾ, സ്ട്രെങ്തനിങ് ഇൻഫ്രാസ്ട്രക്ചർ ആൻഡ് സ്ട്രെങ്തനിങ് പീപ്പിൾസ് പാർട്ടിസിപ്പേഷൻ. സോ ദീസ് were the four things the eighth five-year plan were more focusing upon. So let us see what were the general objectives. First one, creation of adequate job opportunities to achieve near full employment by the turn of the century. Universalization of elementary education and eradication of illiteracy among the age group of 15 to 35. There should not be anyone between this particular age who is illiterate, or those who are not having any job. So mainly they were focusing upon basic elementary education, and even there should be literacy rate should be increased by giving a good education for all the people, those who are between 15 to 35 years. Then control population growth by voluntary acceptance of family planning and through incentives and disincentives. So like government was telling from long time on family planning, but still there was not 100% of acceptance by the people's side, because of the various cultures, because of the various caste system. Because see, India, we are having a unity in diversity. That means we are having that much of diverse cultures, different types of caste system. So all these things will not warmly welcome the family plannings. So there are limitations by the government. So government has started to give incentives, so they were trying to tell that if you undergo tubectomy, this much of amount. Or as we can see nowadays, like if you are in central government job, the limitations of children, or state government limitations of educational allowances given for the children, all these things, like through incentives they have started the family planning. If each PHC also they have targeted, like if you conduct this much of tubectomy or this much of vasectomy, you will be having this much of amount allotted for the next financial year. So all the doctors, all the team members also will try to have more motivation on family planning towards the people. Then next is provision of safe drinking water and primary health care to the entire population. Next is development and strengthen the areas like communication infrastructure, irrigation and energy production to enhance the growth of the country. So in order to have a very fast growth, they have more trying to focus on communication infrastructure. That means especially the telephone, especially the internet facilities, 2G, 3G, 4G, all these things, and irrigation and energy production. All this energy production also in the source of hydroelectric, windmill, solar energies, all these things they were mainly looking upon. These all were the general objectives of the eighth five-year plan. The health related objectives of 8th 5 year plan, the first one was containing population growth with the goals reducing the birth rate from 29.9 per thousand in 1990 should be reduced to 26 per thousand by 1997. So they were telling by the 7 years we should have at least 3 to 4 percentage of a reduction per thousand birth. Next is the infant mortality rate will also be brought down from 80 per thousand live birth in 1990 to 70 percentage. So they were focusing upon a point of 990 to 97. During this particular 7 years, government was focusing and telling that the 80 percentage of infant mortality rate should be brought down to 70%, at least 10 percentage of reduction should be there. So they were more focusing upon birth rate and reduction of infant mortality rate. Then convergence of health services provided by various sectors, especially like welfare areas, human resource development, nutrition, all these sectors were more given emphasis. Then consolidation and operationalization of sub centers PHC and CHC so that their performance is optimized. So more focus towards the operationalization of sub center PHC and CHC. The health for all paradigm must take into account not only high risk but also the vulnerable groups like mothers and children. So health for all concept, when it has came, usually they used to take the high risk group people. So they have emphasized in the 8th 5 year plan that not only them, even the vulnerable group, not only the risk community, they have to focus upon on the vulnerable group also, like mothers, children. These were the health related objectives which we can see in that 8th 5 year plan. So next is 9th 5 year plan. So 9th 5 year plan was from 1997 to 2002. So in the 9th 5 year plan, it has came in act from April 1st 1997. The main objectives were agriculture and rural development. So they were more focusing upon agriculture and rural development and generate adequate employment and eradication of poverty. The same things. Again, they were more focusing agriculture, rural development, employment and poverty eradication. Then the other things are increase the economic growth rate with staple prices. So the economy is in order to increase the economical growth, they have to staple the prices so that there should be somewhat the same price all over the country. Otherwise there should be a generalization, otherwise there should be a check on the price rates. Ensuring food and nutritional security for all. So they were focusing more to, in the 9th 5 year plan, they were focusing on ensuring more food and nutritional security to the population. Provide provision of basic services like safe drinking water, primary health care, universal primary education. These are things, basic services they were providing. Then containing the growth rate of population in order to reduce the population explosion, or in order to reduce the population growth. Empowerment of women and socially disadvantaged, that means the socially challenged people or the women, they all should be more empowered. So they were giving more focus towards women, orphans, otherwise the victims of rape. So socially challenged people, everywhere they were more focusing, like physically handicapped people, physically handicapped children, mentally retarded children. So these all were empowerment of women and all these things they were more focusing. Then promotion of people's participation through Panchayat Raj institution and self-help groups. So here also again they were using the persons people participation, especially in the periphery level. Panchayat Raj institution, it's very very important. You have studied already in the periphery or in the village level. It is a self-governing body in the rural area. So Panchayat Raj institution and the self-help groups, they all should get this particular participation of the people, then only it will be more successful. The next health related objectives are ensure existing subcenter PHC and fully operationalize. So ensure that all the sub centers and the PHCs or whatever it is there, they all should be fully operational. At least whatever is existing, it should be operationalized. Then fill the gap in community health centers through restructuring existing block level PHC, taluk and subdivisional hospitals. They have to fill the gap of all the CHC by restructuring the down categories like PHC, taluk and subdivisional hospitals. Then establish functional referral linkages. They were telling about the referral linkage and the need of the referral system. Then local recruitment of doctors if necessary on part-time basis. So if any of the PHC or the rural area or the subcenter, they have lack of doctors, then even they can take up the recruitment of doctors from the local area, even just as a part-time, not for a full-time, as a part-time basis also they can recruit. So government were focusing on that also. Then next is provide adequate diagnostics and consumables and drugs. So they were more focusing on diagnostic evaluations or functions, and consumable things, that means supplementary nutrition, all those things, and even in the drugs, that means the basic elementary drugs or the basic medications. Then strengthen the emergency services. For that only they were trying to operationalize the referral linkages. We can refer from one cadre to next place, or PHC to CHC, or from the CHC to the tertiary care levels we can transfer in emergency services. So the referral linkages were given more importance in this particular 5-year plan. The next one is 10th 5-year plan. 10th 5-year plan was from 2002 to 2007. ഇതിലൊന്നും ഇടയ്ക്ക് ഒരു ആനുവൽ പ്ലാൻ വരുന്നില്ല. 8, 9, 10 കണ്ടിന്യൂസ് ആയിട്ടാണ് വരുന്നത് കേട്ടോ. സോ ഇൻ ദ 10th 5-year plan, it has really aimed at improving the quality of life of the people. So they were more focusing upon the quality of life. For that, what all they have done is reduction in poverty. It should have at least the ratio of 5% by 2007. Then from the 2007, it should at least reduce 5% of the poverty ratio. Then providing gainful high quality employment to the additional labor force. So they were more focusing upon employment also here, quality employment. Then all children to be enrolled in schools and complete 5 years of schooling minimum. Then reduction of gender gaps in literacy and wage rates by at least 50%. So there were wage rate differences അല്ലേ, കൂലിയിൽ വ്യത്യാസമുണ്ട്. ഈവൻ ഇപ്പോഴും തന്നെ നമുക്ക് ചില ഇടങ്ങളിലൊക്കെ കാണാനായിട്ട് സാധിക്കും ആണുങ്ങളുടെ കൂലിയിലുള്ള വ്യത്യാസവും പെണ്ണുങ്ങളുടെ കൂലിയിലുള്ള വ്യത്യാസം. അതുപോലെ തന്നെ ആണുങ്ങളുടെ ലിറ്ററസി റേറ്റ്, പെണ്ണുങ്ങളുടെ ലിറ്ററസി റേറ്റ്, അങ്ങനെയുള്ളൊരു ജെൻഡർ ഡിഫറൻസ്, ആ ജെൻഡർ ഗ്യാപ്പ് അറ്റ്ലീസ്റ്റ് ഒരു 50% വരെയെങ്കിലും റെഡ്യൂസ് ചെയ്യാനായിട്ട് 10th 5-year plan അതിൻ്റെ ഒരു മെയിൻ ഒബ്ജക്റ്റീവായിരുന്നു. So in the 10th 5-year plan, you can remember like this, the gender gap or the gender gaps they were trying to reduce in the case of literacy and in the wage rates also by the 10th 5-year plan. Next is reduction in decadal rate of population growth. So they want to reduce the 10-year gap, at least from 2001 to 2011 they want to reduce the population growth to 16.2%, at least increase in literacy rate to 75% within the planned same period of 10 years. All villages to have sustained access to potable drinking water within the planned period. All the villages, none of the village in India should not suffer from drinking water. Then cleaning of major polluted rivers and other notified stretches. Then reduction in IMR and MMR. In this you can mainly highlight a few things. Polluted river cleaning, then drinking water for all villages, and even we have discussed the previous one. What was that? The gender gap reduction. So the gap of gender reduction in literacy and among the wage rates. So these all things you can highlight and remember. It was all the highlights of 10th 5-year plan. And health related objectives, if we see, reorganization and restructuring of the existing government health care system with appropriate referral linkages. The same thing, even in the 9th also they were telling about the referral linkages. So here also they were trying to reorganize and restructure the existing government setup by appropriate referral linkages. And the next one is efficient and effective logistics system for the supply of drugs and consumables based on need and utilization. So based on the need and utilization, government was more focusing upon the logistics system or the supply of the drugs and the consumable, the food, the supplementary nutrition, even the basic drugs, everything should be efficient and effective use of this. Then improving content and quality of education for health professionals. So health like medical education, nursing education, everywhere the content and quality of education of the health professionals they would try to improve. Then skill upgradation of all healthcare providers. So based on this improvement of the quality of education, maybe if you can check back, you will be able to know that during this particular year maybe the syllabus may be revised for even the MBBS students or for the nursing students. The INC and the Indian Nursing Council and in the Indian Medical Council, they all used to revise the syllabus because the government is telling it is their plan to improve the content and quality of the education for health professionals. Then skill upgradation to all healthcare providers. Then promotion of the rational use of diagnostics and drugs, research and development. See, first time I hope we were listening about the word research, because the other main things or the basic things they were making up അല്ലേ, അത് നല്ലതായിട്ട് ഇമ്പ്രൂവ് ചെയ്ത് ഒരു 10th 5-year പ്ലാനൊക്കെ കഴിഞ്ഞ് അല്ലെങ്കിൽ ഇത് ഈ ലെവലിലൊക്കെ നമ്മൾ എത്തിയപ്പോഴേക്കും ഒരു റിസർച്ച് ഡെവലപ്മെൻറ്റ് എന്നുള്ളൊരു ലെവലിലോട്ട്, because almost we are reaching into a developed country. So we can tell we are in a high level of developing countries. So high ലെവലിലാണ് നമ്മൾ. അപ്പോൾ റിസർച്ചിനൊക്കെ കൂടുതൽ ഇമ്പോർട്ടൻസ് കൊടുക്കാനായിട്ട് ഇവർ കൂടുതൽ ഫോക്കസ് ചെയ്തു. ദെൻ സ്ട്രെങ്തനിങ് ആൻഡ് സസ്റ്റെയിനിങ് സിവിൽ registration and sample registration system. So they were trying to have the more registration systems, whatever it may be, like all the birth registration, death registration, so that there only we will be able to assess what is the need or what is the growth rate or what is the problem happening there. So they were strengthening the registration systems. So these all we have seen in the 10th 5-year plan. So next we were moving into the 11th 5-year plan. So 11th 5-year plan also, it's a continuation. There is no annual plan coming in between. It is continuously from 2007 to 2012. So the major objectives were first to accelerate the GDP. What was GDP? Gross domestic product. So the gross domestic product growth from 8% to at least 9%, to create 70 million new work opportunities, to reduce educated unemployment. So by this time we all know that everybody is educated but everybody is not getting job. So even now also we can see this scenario in India. So it should be reduced. And next, to raise real wage rate of unskilled workers by 20%. So the unskilled workers, those who have not undergone any diploma, degree or post graduation, so those who are not skilled enough, so even their labors also should have an increase in their wage of 20%. That means the coolie workers, they were more focusing upon. Then attain the WHO standards of air quality in all major cities, because by this time industrialization, everything was more focused in the first few years of 5-year plans. So because of that, see the air index അല്ല, എയറിൻ്റെ ക്വാളിറ്റി ഒരുപാട് കുറഞ്ഞു. ഇൻഡസ്ട്രിയും ഫാക്ടറീസും അർബനൈസേഷനും വരുന്നതനുസരിച്ച് എയറും പൊല്യൂട്ടഡ് ആയിക്കൊണ്ടിരിക്കുകയാണ്. കാരണം അതിൻ്റെ ഒപ്പം തന്നെ പോപ്പുലേഷൻ ഗ്രോത്തും അതുപോലെ ഉയരുന്നുണ്ട്. So here they have mainly focused upon as per the WHO standards, we have to check the air quality, especially at least in the major cities. So 2011-12 they were focusing for that. Then attention on taking care of the old people. So 11th 5-year plan, you can remember few of these things: gross domestic product, then educated unemployment, then wage of unskilled workers, then air quality in main cities, then care of old age, then reducing disability and integrating disabilities. സോ ഇങ്ങനെ വേണം നിങ്ങൾ ഓരോ വാക്ക്, ആ ഒരു വരിയിൽ നിന്ന് ഒരു വാക്ക് നിങ്ങൾ ഓർത്തിരിക്കാവുള്ളൂ. അപ്പോൾ നിങ്ങൾക്ക് ഓട്ടോമാറ്റിക്കലി വിൽ ബി able to write. So these focusing words what I am telling, you should write and maintain by your own. So these all were the objectives in 11th 5-year plan. So in the 11th 5-year plan, let us see what was their health related objectives. So among the health related, one was reducing the MMR, and next was reducing the IMR, next was reducing the total fertility rate. So IMR, MMR, total fertility rate, it all should have a reduction as per which is given. Then providing clean drinking water to all by 2009 and ensuring no slipbacks. And that's what even in the last 10th 5-year plan also they were focusing upon clear drinking water for all villages. So tribal area, village, rural, everywhere clear drinking water, public water pipe connection should be there. Then reducing malnutrition among children of age group 0 to 3 to half from its present level. So there was malnutrition level much more during this period. So they were trying to reduce the malnutrition. That's why they were focusing more on the supplementary nutrition programs. Then reducing anemia. So in this, see, reduction. So if you focus the word reduction, you can remember so many things. Reduction of IMR, MMR, TFR, total fertility rate, malnutrition reduction, anemia reduction. So these all you can focus. Then raising the sex ratio for age group of 0 to 6. The sex ratio, when we were checking, especially we can see that maybe during that time the female feticide problems has occurred. I hope you all know what is female feticide. What is female feticide? ഉദരത്തിൻ്റെ ഉള്ളിൽ വെച്ച് തന്നെ കുട്ടി പെണ്ണാണ് എന്ന് അറിഞ്ഞു കഴിയുമ്പോൾ അതിനെ കൊല്ലാനുള്ള ഒരു പ്രവണത. സോ ദാറ്റ് ഫീമെയിൽ ഫീറ്റിസൈഡ് മേ ബി ബിക്കോസ് ഓഫ് ദാറ്റ് ഇറ്റ് ഹാസ് ഹാപ്പൻഡ് ദർ ഈസ് എ ഹ്യൂജ് ഡിഫറൻസ് ഇൻ ദ സെക്സ് റേഷ്യോ. സോ ദ മെയിൽസ് were much in number and the females were less in number. So they were more focusing upon that. Then improving medical, paramedical, nursing and dental education, and then availability. So here also education, they were especially medical education, medical, paramedical, nursing, dental education should be again improved, and reorienting Ayush education and utilization. So here you can remember in the 11th 5-year plan the word Ayush came. നിങ്ങളങ്ങനെ ഓരോ 5-year പ്ലാനിലും പുതിയതായിട്ട് വരുന്ന ഓരോ കാര്യങ്ങൾ ഫോക്കസ് ചെയ്യുക. ബാക്കി പൊതുവായിട്ടുള്ള കാര്യങ്ങൾ എപ്പോഴും ഉണ്ട്. സോ by looking into this 11th 5-year plan, you will be able to see that some of the basic things in all the things it is there. Because see, health sector പ്ലാനിങ്ങിൽ നമ്മൾ ഓൾറെഡി കണ്ടു, അത് 7 സബ് ഡിവിഷനായിട്ടല്ലേ തിരിച്ചിരിക്കുന്നത്. അതിനകത്ത് ഫുഡ്, വാട്ടർ സപ്ലൈ എല്ലാം ഉണ്ട്. സോ everything they need allocation of money, but in some new 5-year plan you can see they were giving some new terms or new things they are trying to incorporate with the health. So here you can see all the medical, paramedical, nursing, dental education and Ayush. See the word Ayush, the traditional system they are trying to incorporate into the education. Next is the 12th 5-year plan. So it is the last 5-year plan we can tell. So 12th 5-year plan 2012 to 2017. So it is a centralized and integrated national economic program depicted its broad vision and aspirations in the subtitle Faster, Sustainable and More Inclusive Growth. So they were focusing upon this broad vision. So they all know that it's a very broad. ഒരു 5 കൊല്ലം കൊണ്ടൊന്നും നമുക്ക് നേടാൻ പറ്റുന്ന ഒന്നല്ല. 5, 10, 20, 25 വർഷം കൊണ്ട് വേണം. So they were looking for a broad vision that faster, sustainable. We should have a sustainability and more inclusive growth. Initially, the Planning Commission estimated to register an average growth rate of 8.2 in the 12th 5-year plan, but later fixed to 8 at least. 8 should be at least the target, or the feasibility should be at least 8 for this improvement. So let us see the goals related to energy and production, what they were looking about. Increasing the green cover by 1 million hectare every year and adding around this much of renewable energy generation capacity in the plan period. നിങ്ങൾ ഇത്രയും ഓർത്തിരുന്നാൽ മതി. ദ ഓൺലി തിങ് യു ക്യാൻ ഫോക്കസ് ഈസ് ഗ്രീൻ ബെൽറ്റ്. അല്ലെങ്കിൽ നമ്മൾ കണ്ടിട്ടില്ലേ അർബൻ ഏരിയ അല്ലെങ്കിൽ അതുപോലുള്ള സിറ്റീസിൽ അല്ലെങ്കിൽ എല്ലാ ഏരിയയിലും മരങ്ങൾ നട്ടുപിടിപ്പിക്കുക, അല്ലെങ്കിൽ ചെറിയ ചെറിയ മിനി ഫോറസ്റ്റുകൾ ക്രിയേറ്റ് ചെയ്യുക, അല്ലേ? ബിക്കോസ് എയർ ഇൻഡെക്സ് ക്യാൻ ബി പ്യൂരിഫൈഡ്, ഓർ എയർ ഇൻഡെക്സ്, ഗുഡ് ക്വാളിറ്റി ഓഫ് എയർ ക്യാൻ ബി മെയിൻറ്റെയിൻഡ് ഓൺലി ത്രൂ planting the trees. It is one of the main thing, because see, automobiles, there is a limit for us to reduce, because urbanization, as per the urbanization, factories or everything, industrialization, everything is coming automatically. The automobiles, cars, van, bus, train, aeroplanes, everything will come up. So only thing what we can do is plant green plants. So they were trying to increase the green coverage and also the energy generation capacity, especially like I have told, like energy, especially they were looking upon solar system, windmills and hydroelectric projects. So these things they were more focusing. Then to reduce emission intensity of the gross domestic product in line with the target. So they were again focusing into the gross domestic product. Then raising agriculture output. So they were looking into the agricultural output should be increased. Manufacturing sector growth. So each sectors they should have, especially the manufacturing. That means ഇപ്പം എന്ത് മാനുഫാക്ചർ ആയാലും, മെഡിസിൻ മാനുഫാക്ചറിങ്, സിമെൻറ്റ് മാനുഫാക്ചറിങ്, വാട്ട് എവർ ഇറ്റ് മേ ബി. So in India we should increase the manufacture. Then only there is no need for us to depend other countries to import the goods or the things what we need. So we can manufacture all these things in our own country. Then target of adding over this much of power generation capacity in the 12th 5-year plan. That means they were നമ്മളൊരു നഴ്സിംഗ് എന്നുള്ള നിലയ്ക്ക് നിങ്ങൾ ഇത്ര ഓർത്തിരുന്നേച്ചാൽ മതി, in order to increase the power generation. So the natural source of power generation should be increased by 12th 5-year plan. So these all were the main things. So in the planning commission, in that planning commission has consisted a high level expert group. See, HLEG. You have to just remember this thing because it is 12th 5-year plan. So even it is the last 5-year plan. So it will be better if you can remember all these things in the 12th 5-year plan. They have made a small committee or commission which is known as high level expert group. So they were more focusing upon universal health coverage, and 7 working groups and 2 steering committees to define the appropriate strategy for the health sector for the 12th plan. Because as we all know, we don't have a universal health coverage system in India. Still health insurance is a question mark in India for all the sectors, especially private, public, everything. So they were trying to have a universal health coverage. They were looking for that. A small group was formed which is known as HLEG, high level expert groups. So this all happened in the 12th 5-year plan. So in the 12th 5-year plan, let us see what were the health sector development they were focusing. So towards the health sector, the goals were reduction of IMR, reduction of again MMR, and reduction of total fertility rate, and prevention and reduction of say malnutrition, undernutritious children, then reduction of anemia, the same things. Say raising of a child sex ratio, that means the sex ratio should be raised. Then reduction of communicable and non-communicable disease. ഈ ഒരൊറ്റ കാര്യമാണ് കൂടുതലായിട്ട് ആഡപ്പായി വന്നിട്ടുള്ളൂ 11th നിന്ന് അല്ലേ. So in the 12th, the main thing they have added up is reduction of communicable and non-communicable disease, because see, mental diseases has been increased during that period a lot. So like suicide tendencies, depression, mania, അങ്ങനെയുള്ള ഒരുപാട്, because people are stressed up, എല്ലാവരും വർക്ക് ചെയ്യാൻ തുടങ്ങി, urbanization, these all things has led to the mental, they were disturbing the mental health of the population. So they were more focusing upon non-communicable diseases also, especially mental health and even the accidents and injuries. So its reduction also were focused. Then reduction of poor household out of pocket expenditure. So because of the private sectors, many times people were not able to have to hold, they cannot even hold the expenditure. So in order to that, they were trying to reduce the poverty or the poor households. So these all were the goals related to health sector in the 12th 5-year plan. So I hope you all have understood what all we have studied. So in the 12th 5-year plan, they were more focusing upon communicable and non-communicable disease. So let us see in the communicable disease what all things they were focusing. So you can, from the column it is very clear, you can read that they were focusing upon the diseases like tuberculosis, leprosy, malaria, filariasis, dengue, chikungunya, Japanese encephalitis, Kala Azar, and even HIV and AIDS. So these all were the various communicable disease they were more focusing upon. So they were targeting a good reduction as a goal factor by the end of the 12th 5-year plan. So at least by 2017 they should be, or by 2017 to 20 they'll be able to attain this particular goals. So these were the disease they were more focusing upon in the 12th 5-year plan. So the so overall in this particular slide, overall I have given the summary of the investment during the all the 5-year plans. So നിങ്ങളിത് കാണാതെ പഠിക്കേണ്ട കാര്യമില്ല. There is no need for you to by heart these things. Just for your information I am just giving this chart so that you can look into the various things and it will help you out. Because you see, in each of the 5-year plan you will be able to see the increase in the health investment, the total investment, and at the same time how much they have spent for the health we can able to see in crores. So here in from this table you will be clearly able to get also from the first to 12th 5-year plan. And I hope you may be thinking why madam has told it is the last 5-year plan, because we are right now in 2020. So by 2017 12th 5-year plan has stopped, completed. So what about the 13th 5-year plan? ആർക്കെങ്കിലും അതിനുള്ള ഒരു ഉത്തരം മനസ്സിൽ ഓർത്തിട്ട് കിട്ടുന്നുണ്ടോ? ഞാൻ എൻ്റെ ഇൻട്രൊഡക്ടറി ക്ലാസ്സിൽ പറഞ്ഞിരുന്നു 12th 5-year പ്ലാൻ ആണ് 5-year പ്ലാൻ എന്നുള്ള പേരിൽ ലാസ്റ്റ് ആയിട്ടുള്ളത്. അതിന് ശേഷം എന്താണ് സംഭവിച്ചത്? 2017 to 2022 right now we actually should have been in 13th 5-year plan അല്ലേ? പക്ഷേ അതില്ല. എന്തുകൊണ്ടാണ്? Yes. See, by this particular time, that means during the period of Narendra Modi as the Prime Minister, they have actually dissolved the Planning Commission into a new name which is known as NITI Aayog, NITI, National Institution for Transforming India. National Institution for Transforming India, NITI Aayog. So by 2015, Narendra Modi has taken this initiative that hereafter the Planning Commission will be known in the name as NITI Aayog, and it has been assigned the role of coordinating the transforming our world. That means the agenda has been set to 2013 for a sustainable development, for a slow and steady development should happen by 2030, so that everything will be stable by 2030. They were aiming for a long-term goal. They have set a long-term goal. That's why there is no 13th 5-year plan. The name 5-year plan has been stopped by 12th one, and now we are in the NITI Aayog, that means National Institute for Transforming India. The planning is happening. You never think that they have put a full stop for planning. No, 5-year plans are happening, but the 5-year, that concept has been changed. They are planning for long term. So let us see what are the objectives of NITI Aayog. So in the NITI Aayog, the first one was to have a shared vision in developmental priorities of the nation by involving state governments and other sectors. So they would try to have even the public-private partnership, PPP, public-private partnership, they were looking as the objective to encourage accommodating federalism through structured support initiatives. So they were trying to have more support from various agencies, even the voluntary or international agencies, everything they were more focusing upon that. They were encouraging towards that federalism. Next is to build practical ways to draw realistic plans initially at the village level and implement the same to the higher level. So they were building more practical ways so that there will be a good realistic plan happening in the village level, and later it will be transferred even to the higher levels also. To pay special attention to the weaker sections of our community in view of economic progress of the country. In order to improve the economy, they have to give more focus for the weaker sections. അല്ലെ, വീക്ക് ആയിട്ടുള്ള കമ്മ്യൂണിറ്റീസ്, അല്ലെങ്കിൽ we can tell, like example we can tell like reservations, like we can tell scheduled caste, scheduled tribe, അല്ലെങ്കിൽ അതിൽ OBC category. So these the weaker societies or the weaker sections, they were given more focus so that the economy will be same for everybody. They also will come up to pay attention on intersectoral and interdepartmental issues to gear up the execution of the developmental agenda. So they were more trying to have intersectoral approach or interdepartmental approach in order to have a good development, to adopt best practices that would promote sustainable and equitable development and help their dissemination to stakeholders also, so that there should be a sustainable development and an equitable development, so that there will be the stakeholders. What do you mean by stakeholders? അല്ലെ, കാശ് മുടക്കുന്നവർ അല്ലെങ്കിൽ ആരൊക്കെയാണ് ആ ഫേമിലുള്ളത്. ലൈക്ക് ഫോർ എക്സാമ്പിൾ ആസ് എ സ്റ്റേക്ക് ഹോൾഡേഴ്സ് വി ക്യാൻ ടെൽ, നമ്മുടെ കോളേജിൻ്റെ സ്റ്റേക്ക് ഹോൾഡേഴ്സ് എന്ന് പറയുന്ന ആരൊക്കെയാണ്? ടീച്ചേഴ്സ്, ഡയറക്ടേഴ്സ്, മാനേജ്മെൻറ്റ് സൈഡ്, പേരൻസ്, സ്റ്റുഡൻസ്, ദ നോൺ ടീച്ചിങ് സ്റ്റാഫ്, ദേ ഓൾ ആർ സ്റ്റേക്ക് ഹോൾഡേഴ്സ് അല്ലേ. ഇഫ് they all are working together, then only we have a sustainable and equitable development. Next is to monitor continuously on the execution of programs and initiatives and receive feedback for planning. So whatever planning or programs is should be continuous, we should monitor it and we should get the feedback also of that. Next, to focus on capacity developing building through necessary technology upgradation. By improving the technology or by upgrading the technology, we have to focus upon capacity building also, so that good training should be given to the people in all the sectors, not only health sector, everywhere the capacity should be built. So we can hear about so many small programs happen nowadays, like ഓരോരോ ചെറിയ കോഴ്സുകൾ അല്ലേ, കമ്പ്യൂട്ടറിൻ്റെ കോഴ്സുകൾ, അല്ലെങ്കിൽ ഒത്തിരി ഇൻറ്റഗ്രേറ്റഡ് സ്മോൾ അപ്ഗ്രേഡേറ്റിംഗ് നോളജ്, എസ്പെഷ്യലി കമ്പ്യൂട്ടർ IT റിലേറ്റഡ് തിങ്സ് ആർ കമ്മിങ്, വിച്ച് ഈസ് അണ്ടർ ദ ഗവൺമെൻറ്. ജസ്റ്റ് 3 months ഓഫ് കോഴ്സ്, 6 months ഓഫ് കോഴ്സ്, 2 months ഓഫ് കോഴ്സ്, 1.5 മാസത്തെ കോഴ്സ്, അങ്ങനെയൊക്കെ. സോ ദാറ്റ് ദേ ആർ അപ്ഗ്രേഡിങ് ദ ടെക്നോളജി ഓഫ് ഈച്ച് പ്രൊഫഷൻസ്. ഇപ്പോൾ ഏത് പ്രൊഫഷൻ കഴിഞ്ഞ ഒരാൾക്കാണെങ്കിലും അവരുടെ ആ ഒരു സ്കില്ല് അപ്ഗ്രേഡ് ചെയ്യാനുള്ള കാര്യങ്ങൾ. സോ ദീസ് ഓൾ തിങ്സ് വർ മോർ ഫോക്കസ്ഡ് ആസ് ദ ഒബ്ജക്റ്റീവ് ഓഫ് നിതി ആയോഗ്, ദാറ്റ് ഈസ് നാഷണൽ ഇൻസ്റ്റിറ്റ്യൂട്ട് ഫോർ ട്രാൻസ്ഫോമിംഗ് ഇന്ത്യ. ദിസ് ഈസ് നൗ പ്രാക്ടിക്കലി ഗോയിങ് ഓൺ. We are in 2020. So I hope you all have understood all the 5-year plans. So remember this, the present NDA government has stopped the formation of 5-year plans, so that the 12th 5-year plan would be called as the last 5-year plan of India. The decades old അല്ലേ, എത്രയോ വർഷമായിട്ടായിരുന്നു 5-year പ്ലാൻ. നമ്മൾ 1950 അല്ലേ, 1951 സ്റ്റാർട്ടായതാണ് ഫസ്റ്റ് 5-year പ്ലാൻ. So which will be a part of the 7th. So now you don't think that only the name is changed. 5-year they are not focusing. Now they are on the way of 3-year action plan, and then 7-year of strategic paper and 15-year vision document. ഒരു 3 വർഷത്തെ പ്ലാനിങ്ങും ഒരു 5-7 വർഷത്തെ പേപ്പർ ഒരു സ്ട്രാറ്റജി ഉണ്ടാക്കുക, ഒരു പേപ്പർ വർക്ക് നടത്തുക. അതിനുശേഷം നമ്മുടെ വിഷൻ അല്ലെങ്കിൽ ഒരു ലോങ് ടേം ഗോളായിട്ട് ഒരു 15 വർഷത്തെ ഒരു വിഷൻ അല്ലെങ്കിൽ മുന്നോട്ടുള്ള ഒരു ഗോളാണ് അവർ സെറ്റ് ചെയ്യുന്നത്. That is happening in the NITI Aayog. So NITI Aayog has replaced the planning commission in the Modi cabinet and has launched a 3-year action plan from April 1, 2017. So you can remember from 2017, April 1st onwards, there is no 13th 5-year plan. It is NITI Aayog. What is NITI Aayog? National Institute of Transforming India. So I hope you all have understood about the various 5-year plans. By this, the particular unit is finishing. You all have to read. You all have to, more than reading, you have to make self notes for this, especially committees and 5-year plans. Then only you will be able to appear this during the exam time. Thank you, students. In the coming class, we will start with the new unit.